bought a radhus in Sweden this year. In this video, I'm going to explain to you all the things I have learned during the process. I don't want you to make the mistakes I have made. Hi, I'm Premia. I make videos that helps immigrants and expats. Welcome to my channel. Today in this video, I'm going to break down the entire process of buying a home in Sweden into 10 different steps. I'm going to make it as simple as possible for you. I don't know how long this video is going to be. It's going to be in detail. So grab a tea, let's dive in. First thing first, unless you're sitting in a pile of cash, you need to figure out your budget first. Start by calculating your savings, your annual salary, your investment, etc. This will give you an idea how much you can afford, how much you can lend from the bank, and what would be the interest rate you can get. And you need to pay 15% down payment. This will drop to 10% in the future, but it is still 15% as of now. If you're buying a home with a partner, both of your annual income, investment, savings will be taken into account. Let's do an example. If you earn 1 million annually, then the maximum loan you can get is most likely 5 million SEK. If you're buying a house for 3.5 million SEK, then the down payment you need to put in is 15%, that is 525,000 SEK. And here is a tip. Don't just focus on the total price of the property. Calculate how much money you can pay monthly and work it out from there to find your budget. A super helpful tools are Booli and Hemnet. You can explore the site and find out what would be your mortgage and monthly payment will be. Definitely check it out. Do not forget the extra cost you need to consider before buying a home in Sweden. The actual purchase price of the property is only one part of the equation. First, property tax. If you're buying a house in Sweden, then you need to pay land tax every year. If you're getting an apartment or a property with BRF, that is housing association, then you need to pay monthly avgift, which usually covers the maintenance and such. Then there is home insurance, maintenance fee, utilities, etc. There are one-time costs also. The one that usually surprises people are pantpriv. That is, you need to pay 2.5% of the extra amount you take as loan on top of what the previous owner had on the property. So for example, if the previous owner had 2.5 million SEK as mortgage on a property and you're buying it and you want to take mortgage of 3 million SEK, then there is a difference of 500,000 SEK. You need to pay 2.5% as tax for that extra 500,000 SEK. For details of pantpriv, you can check with the broker. The stamp duty is 1.5% of the total property price. Now that you have analyzed your finances, you know how much money you can borrow from the bank, you must know what is your budget. And with this information, you are ready for loan promise. You can apply loan promise online from any Swedish bank in Sweden. It doesn't need to be Swedish bank, but authorized in Sweden. It is usually not that tricky. Having a loan promise make you more attractive to sellers. In competitive areas, some brokers will not even let you attend the viewings if you do not have a loan promise. Now comes the fun part. Time to figure out what kind of home you want and where. Believe me, this part is way complicated in Sweden than it needs to be. But don't worry, I will try to make it simple for you. Start by exploring properties in Hemnet and Booli. These sites give you an idea what kind of properties are available in the areas that you want. Next, attend viewings. Photos in the advertisement can be very much deceiving. Go and see the property yourself. Walk around the property, that will give you an idea of what is the layout, what is the size, and what is the price. Now, before you start falling in love with any property, make a wish list. Do you need parking? Do you need a balcony? Should it be in-glassed? Or does it need to be in a specific floor? Knowing what is important to you makes the search much easier. Pro tip, pay very close attention to where the windows are. The sunlight is very important in Sweden. Also, decide what kind of a property you want. Do you want an apartment, a radhus, villa, or an independent house? Property ownership in Sweden is slightly different compared to some other countries. This part can be very confusing. Let me simplify it for you. There are mainly two types of ownership in Sweden. One with association, that is called BRF. In that case, you do not actually own the property or the land. It is owned by the association. You have the right to live there. Just make a note, when you're buying a property with housing association, you don't actually own the building or the land. Instead, you are just buying the right to live there. Sometimes radhus, villas can be part of BRF. The housing association manages the maintenance of the property and you give a monthly avgift in return. And then there is freehold ownership. It can be radhus, villas, or independent houses. For properties without housing association, you own the land and the building. There is no monthly payment to the BRF. You are responsible for the full maintenance of the house and the land. Both options has pros and cons. It just depends on what suits you best. Did you think it was that simple? Sorry, no. Let's go into deeper. As I said earlier, the row house and villas can be with and without association. If it's with association, it's not that complicated. Consider it as an apartment. Without BRF can be different variations. Believe me, there are like multiple combinations and permutations here. Now pause the video and check out the table and let that sink in. Hopefully you understood the table. If you have further questions, comment them down below. I will try to clarify those. Choose full ownership if you want no community, no interference and full control. Choose villa with samfällighet if you want a balance between independence and community maintenance. Choose freehold townhouse if you want independence but you want to be part of a community. Choose BRF if you like structured community living and you don't mind rules and fees. So think about what suits your lifestyle best. Take your time, explore your options, do not rush. It is a big decision. Now that you have a budget and a wish list, it is time to start searching seriously. Shortlist properties, attend as many viewings as possible. The more you see, the better you have idea of what's worth your money. Step 5 is to investigate thoroughly. This is the most important step before making an offer. Now that you have shortlisted some properties, first review all the documents provided by the broker. Unfortunately, they are usually in Swedish, but not to worry, you can use AI tools like ChatGPT. It will summarize everything for you. For properties with housing association, take a good look at the financial status of the association. A weak BRF is equal to higher monthly payments. You do not want to stuck with a skyrocketing avgift. This has happened to many people. One key point is to check the debt per square meter. Lower the debt, higher the financial stability of the association. If the debt is below 5,000 SEK per square meters, it is a good deal. If it's between 5,000 and 10,000, it is okay. Anything about 10,000 is a big no-no. Also check the monthly fee, avgift. What is included in the monthly fee? How is it in comparison with the other similar properties? Are there any planned increase to the monthly fee? Another thing, does the association own the land or do they lease it? If they are leasing it, there is a chance for monthly fee increase. Look at planned renovations as well. Big maintenance projects like roof replacement, toilet replacement, plumbing, all can contribute to increase in monthly fee. These are not at all bad things. This is all part of BRF and this is all good for the maintenance of the building. But understanding these will give you an idea how stable is the monthly fee going to be. When buying in a BRF, you do not need to worry about the condition of the property as such because that is mainly the responsibility of the association. As long as you are happy with the general condition and the facilities in the apartment or the radhus or villa, it should be good. Make sure you clearly understand what is your responsibility as owner and what is the BRF's responsibility. You do not want any surprises after you sign the contract. Your broker can help to clarify your question. For properties without association, man, you do not want to make any mistakes here. Check out how old is the property and is it well maintained? A well-kept house can save you a lot of trouble in the future. Also check the community fee. What is it included? Is it high? Sometimes you're paying for the things that you don't even need. And when you're visiting, take a walk around. Is the common area well maintained? It's a good sign that the community is taking the maintenance seriously. If it looks neglected, it might be a bad sign. Then look into the community rules. It is very rare, but in some cases, the community can have weird rules that may not align with your wishes. Better to know in advance rather regret later. One big thing, do you own the land or is the land owned by the municipality? If it's owned by the municipality, then you need to pay lease tax. That should be okay. Check if the price is high or not. And also check if you have the possibility to buy the land at a later point of time. Some places allow the same. It's good to know what are your options. Now let's talk about property inspection or besiktning in Swedish. Most sellers will have done an inspection and it is part of the document that you have in the broker site. It's usually reliable because it has a 10-year warranty. But if the house doesn't look in a great shape, then I would recommend that you do an inspection on your own as well. Check for big issues like radon gas, mold, water leakage? Are there any recommended repairs in the report? And more importantly, can you afford them? Ventilation and insulation is super important. Poor ventilation can lead to mold buildup. Be sure to check basement, attics and roof for leaks. Speaking of roof, are the roof recently renovated? Usually you need to do a renovation every 30 to 40 years. If the house is made of wood, remember that wooden house requires higher maintenance. Check the electrical wiring. Is it old? Can it handle the modern appliances? If not, you might need to upgrade the electrical system. Another crucial thing, check the energy declaration. A low energy rating means you need to spend a lot of money to keep the house warm. You know how important that is in Sweden. Also find out what kind of a heating system you have in the property. Is it district heating or geothermal heat pump? Both are good options. It's efficient and cost saving. If it's electric heating, it's okay if the house has good insulation. But if it is old direct electric system and poor insulation, you will be spending a lot of money to keep your house warm. These are just some of the key things to look out for. Buying a house is a very big investment, so take your time and make sure that you're getting something that will work for you long term. A keynote, if you're buying an independent house, then you must do an inspection. I have heard multiple stories, even from my Swede colleagues, that they needed to demolish the house because of rat infestation and mold. Now in this stage, you have done your homework and you have identified the property that you want to move forward with. Step 6 is to make an offer. In Sweden, bidding on a home is usually an open process, meaning you get to see the bids in real time. How fun is that? But be careful, it is very easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment. So here is how it works. You find a home you love, you tell the broker and place your bid. But stick to your budget. Trust me, you do not want to get carried away and regret later. Even if you win the bid, it's not legally binding yet. That happens in the next step. Once the bid is accepted, you are ready to sign the contract. But hold on, there is a few things to happen before. First, your bank will finalize your mortgage approval. Yes, you have loan promise, but you still need an approval from the bank before you can sign the contract. This involves some back and forth discussion with the bank and the broker, but it's pretty simple. You do not need to do much. Next, you will set a date to sign the contract together with the seller and the broker. And also you will decide when is the move-in date. That is when you actually get the keys. On the day of signing the contract, you will need to give 10% deposit. For example, if you're buying a property for 5 million SEK, then you need to pay 500,000 as deposit. You will pay the deposit to the broker, not to the seller directly. And just like that, you're almost a homeowner. But we are not done just yet. At this stage, the contract is signed, but there is a tiny window where you can still get out of it. However, be cautious. If you do not have a valid reason to back out, then you will lose your 10% deposit and maybe some extra. But if your contract has a contingency clause, like loan approval pending, selling your current home, or an unsatisfactory home inspection report, you can withdraw without penalties. But clarify that with your broker before signing the contract. And also in rare cases, if you're signing a contract with the BRF and the BRF rejects you for some reason, the contract becomes invalid. So bottom line, make sure you're fully committed before proceeding. During this time until moving date, it is very common to be in contact with the owners and ask questions about the property. You may agree with them and visit them in case you want to make measurements, etc. for buying furniture. Just make sure you don't overdo it. Step 9 is finalizing the mortgage. Now this part is super important. It doesn't matter from which bank you got the loan promise. You can still approach multiple banks for a better interest rate. Trust me, this takes time because it usually takes 2 rounds of discussion before you agree on an interest rate. So start early. Here is a pro tip. Be ready to finalize a bank at least 1 month in advance before the moving date, because the broker usually takes 1 month to finalize the paperwork. In Sweden, bank like Nordea, Danske, Handelsbanken, SEB, SBAB, etc. usually finance up to 85% of the property value, which means you only need to put in the minimum required down payment, that is 15%. First, you submit an online loan application to the bank. Within a week, a bank representative will reach out to you to discuss about mortgage terms. The interest rate in Sweden currently is between 2 to 5%. Ask each bank what you can do to enable them to provide the best interest rate for you. That's a $1 million question. It totally depends on your financial status and how much investments and savings you have. Also the current interest rate. Agree on an interest rate that suits you best. Be sure you have explored all options before finalizing on an interest rate. Unlike in India, banks here are very passive. You need to ask all the questions. Choose fixed or variable rates or a combination depending on your risk appetite. Consider splitting the loan into 3 or 4 parts in case you are planning to close off the loan sooner. Comment down below if you have any questions related to this topic. I will try to answer. Once everything is set, your bank will coordinate with the broker to finalize the deal. You don't have to do much here, they take care of it. And with that, we are on to the final stage. This is the moment. After all the stress, planning and homework, you are ready to own your house. On the completion day, you will meet with the seller and the broker at the broker's office. And here is what happens. You pay the remaining 90% to the broker. You and the seller sign the contract, multiple copies. You get to keep one. The ownership is officially transferred. But wait, there is one last piece of paperwork. You get the key in about 2 to 3 weeks time. You will get the official ownership document in your post. And that's it. I wish you good luck in your house hunt. I hope you will find the best property that you like. Thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video.